Hello, welcome back, and thank you as always for joining me here. We're going to really get down to basics today. We always are. Now, it is entirely possible to see this course as far out and difficult and way over our heads, isn't it? You may be experiencing that right now. And if you're a longtime course student, at some point, no doubt you did have that experience of wondering what any of this actually has to do with anything at all. We're so conditioned in the world to think of ourselves as a frail human body, and we're so conditioned to think of our brother as separate from us, inhabiting other frail human bodies that are equally frail, if not more frail than our own, but all of them completely impermanent and they go bye-bye. I mean, we don't like to live as though that's the case. And we frequently don't. We run off, we do our thing, but that's where we appear to find ourselves. And we're so entrenched in this way of seeing things that the presentation of another thought system, which is what this course really is, that's what it's pointing us to. Another way of looking at things and seeing them. This presentation can seem bizarre, highly abstract, and the reason for the apparent difficulty is that we're bringing that upon ourselves. Yes, I know. Yeah, this is an adult endeavor requiring honesty. Spirituality is what I'm talking about, all of it, not just A Course in Miracles. Every single tradition is all about this. It is about taking adult responsibility for our own lives. And well, welcome. I mean, really, we like to avoid that too. But the ideas that the Course shows us, brings forth to us, are actually very simple. We bring the complications. We do that. We do it ourselves because we're habituated, we're indoctrinated, we're conditioned to think that life has to be immeasurably complicated. There have to be multiple component parts to everything, and we're always juggling, we're always in a balance. We're juggling our work with our relationships, with this, with that, with money, with everything. And there appear to be multiple gradations and layers of complication in our lives, and we don't feel comfortable unless we have them. And when we have them, because we made them all up, we don't feel comfortable either. Yeah, a wild situation we've invented for ourselves. And of course, there's more to it. Of course, there is. And that's what has us all on the spiritual path in the first place. So we can think of this course as really difficult. And that is our conditioning. In fact, it's not really difficult. We just don't want to go there. Hmm. Isn't that closer to the truth? Rather than telling yourself, I can't learn this rather simple course, isn't it closer to the truth to say, yeah, right now, I don't want to. I'd rather go off and play in ego land and exhaust myself again. And you're welcome to do that. We're all welcome to do that. Because here's part of the simplicity of A Course in Miracles. We have a single choice right now, a very simple choice, because it only has two options. One choice only. That's simple. One choice, two options. That's it. Everything else that we heap upon ourselves is a derivative of this one choice, and by, well, our own lives, will recognize instantly which we have chosen because it's obvious. One choice, of course, is the Holy Spirit, the thought system of this course, God, light, Jesus, yeah, love, truth. And the other choice is illusion, the ego, separation, guilt, blame, hatred, rage, and fear, darkness, and stuff. That's the choice. And it's very obvious which choice is the happy choice and which one is not. And we all have the ability right now to choose. And it's powerful. It's more powerful than we imagine it to be. And perhaps you have a vivid imagination, which is great. This is even more powerful than you imagine it to be. How will you tell that it is? Well, do it. Your experience will show you. If you don't do it, then, well, your experience will show you more of the same. And by more of the same, we mean more drudgery. I know, more suffering, pain, guilt, and all that stuff. We have a choice right now. You have this choice right now. You have it right now. When else but the present moment? So it's simple. Yeah, we don't make it easy on ourselves, yet we're invited to, and you could choose to. You could choose to do this right now. So, as a practical matter, this course references forgiveness all over the place. Text, workbook, manual for teachers, the two supplements at the end. Yeah, all of it. This is the practical centerpiece of A Course in Miracles is true forgiveness. What do I mean by true forgiveness? Forgiveness as the world sees it focuses on the external, on what appear to be external objects. Forgiving someone for something that he or she did to you. Now, how is this not true forgiveness? Well, forgiveness as the world sees it often comes with a string attached. In a classic situation, one person forgives a supposed transgression of another and holds it over them, deeming themselves rather lordly, high and mighty, having stooped, having deigned to forgive this little underling for having sinned against him, for having transgressed and offended. Only an ego can be offended, after all. So that's forgiveness as the world sees it. What happens? Festering resentment and a superiority complex, perhaps, on the part of the one who's forgiven, who's done the forgiving, and the one who has supposedly been forgiven often feels resentful. How is that loving? Exactly. It is not at all. It maintains a sense of separation. Forgiveness, as taught in this course, which is known by different terms like true forgiveness. You may have heard the term quantum forgiveness. Yes, this type of forgiveness looks right past the external illusion, looks right past the external illusions of the body, of our station in life, of our relationships to one another in the world. All of the what look to be externals are simply passed by. And why? We're choosing to see with the Holy Spirit instead of the ego. True forgiveness goes right past the illusions to the essence, the core, the truth of what is perfect oneness. Your brother is you. He's not similar to you at all. He is you, is one. Now, this idea you may have heard before in other spiritual traditions. It's out there. Yes. Welcome to A Course in Miracles. And what we do is we don't find this true forgiveness automatic at all due to our conditioning. That makes sense. So we practice it. Yes, we reinforce the idea by doing it, by doing it, by choosing to see our brother as he really is. Now, what happens there is very important because there's only perfect oneness and your brother is you. What happens when you choose to see your brother as he is? Yes, quite right. You see yourself as you really are. If you choose to see your brother innocent, sinless, so you see yourself. If you choose to see, on the other hand, a grievous, gross sinner and doer of grave misdeeds, you just saw yourself as a gross and grievous sinner, a doer of grave misdeeds. Remember, oneness. Your brother is you. Now, of course, here in the world, there appear to be 8 billion of us, and we've separated and parsed out our entire experience. And, well, we're living life. I mean, if you're going off to work today, go off to work today. We live what appear to be our normal lives, but we don't have to believe in the concrete reality of them at all. We can choose to see them with the Holy Spirit. In other words, that's the point. Choose to see this with the Holy Spirit as He sees it, as our inner teacher sees it. And it's entirely possible to show up in the world doing what you ordinarily do and look at it completely differently. If you don't believe it, that's perfectly okay. We all have this power of choice, and part of this power of choice is to say, I'm not doing this. Forget it. This is too weird. Or I'm not ready. Or more honestly, again, I don't want to do this. Okay, not a problem. I mean, we're able to delay as long as we wish, including the rest of this lifetime, if you so choose. I mean, no one's going to stop you from doing that. This is a choice we all make. We get to make it. It's very powerful when you start to make the choice for light instead of dark, for the Holy Spirit instead of the ego. You begin to see things differently. And it starts right here in the present moment with a choice. This is an idea that needs to be repeated. I mean, this is true of all spiritual traditions when you think about it. They all repeat themselves over and over, saying the exact same things on a different day, in a different passage, in slightly different language. And we need that. I mean, number one, we're stubborn adult learners. And number two, who knows when it's actually going to make sense, right? It could be today that this proverbial light bulb that everybody talks about comes on and illuminates the walk. I, we don't know. Maybe today. So we show up and we practice it because how you choose to see your brother in other words, every living thing, is how you see yourself. And you can choose to look at this with the Holy Spirit. Otherwise, we're at war with ourselves. Really, when you think about it, chapter 23 of the text is even entitled The War Against Yourself. And well, when we see separation, when we see our brother as separate from us, we're at war with ourselves. Why? When we see separation, we want to defend our ego, our body, our reputation, things like that. We're certain that our brother is going to lash out and attack us. So we have a strong desire to strike first, preemptive strikes. And even if you don't say anything or do anything physically, it's going on in the mind. That's the point, because that's where this course operates. It actually has nothing to do with what we think of as our physical reality. It's not about impacting the screen of life, getting a hotter bod, things like that, manifesting more money, all those things that there are other modalities out there, like many other modalities out there that talk about the same thing. Okay. They talk about manifesting this, they talk about doing that in the world. The central teaching of A Course in Miracles is this: there is no world. So whether you have a lot of money or not isn't the point. Whether you have a beautiful romantic partnership, a new beautiful romantic partnership that has come into your life or not, is not the point. These things may very well happen as a result of your true forgiveness, but again, that's not the point. The point is not to effect change in the world. There is no world. You are perfectly at home in God where you have always been. I'm too. We all are. Remember, perfect oneness. And we can choose right now to see this. This course is about changing our mind. We bring this choice, this power of choice, this little willingness to choose the Holy Spirit. Let Him do the rest. I mean, of ourselves, we don't know the outcome of everything that we're going to say and do throughout space and time. We have no idea what to do or say that will benefit every single living thing throughout space and time without exception, but our inner teacher does. So why would we not trust its guidance? That's the point of all spirituality, learning to relax and trust. And well, it's certainly what we do practicing this course. The ideas are simple. We have to allow ourselves to be open to them. And what you're doing right here in paying attention to this message is very important. It's this continual coming back to the message that really matters. In this sense, life is a living, breathing, waking meditation practice. We get distracted, we bring our awareness back to the object of meditation, or in this case, to the object of meditation being our relationship with our inner teacher, our connection with the Holy Spirit, forgiveness, extending love, however you choose to characterize that. Yeah, we get distracted, bring our awareness back, like a traditional seated meditation practice, where our mind wanders off, we notice it and just bring it back. Bring our awareness back to the present moment and the choice that we have right now. We know the choice that leads to happiness and joy, and the one that simply heaps on more pain. So it's simple. And well, I mean, that's part of the reason when you think about it, why more people aren't practicing this course. It's the complications that we heap upon our lives, thinking it's got to be more complicated than this. It can't simply be this way. There is no world. What are you talking about? I'm not a body. What? Come on, of course I am. Sure, sure you are. Mm. We heap the complications upon ourselves, which is why there appear to be fewer people doing this. That in the course is relatively new on our imaginary scale of linear time, which is completely made up, by the way. But it's making this decision that we most resist. All resistance is the ego, all of it. So whether you actively resist or not right now, yeah, that's what it is. It's the ego. And when you notice yourself carried away, simply bring your awareness back to your connection with our inner teacher or to true forgiveness. It's the same thing. Bring your awareness back to extending love to your brother. Bring your awareness back to the conscious, present moment choice of seeing your brother as yourself. Bring your awareness back to it, your living, breathing awareness, what we call conscious awareness. Yeah. Consciousness, in fact, is the realm of the ego because it's dualistic, meaning there's a subject and an object. One is conscious of something or someone other. There is no other. That's just a word that gets bandied about. Remember, there is only perfect oneness which we can choose to see. So let's make that choice today. We see everything as separate. Let's allow the Holy Spirit to correct our perception of that. Look past the illusion to the essence, to truth. Let's make that choice today. All right, so I thank you as always for joining me and for all of your comments and questions. The questions are fantastic because spiritual practice can and does generate them, of course. It's deep self inquiry, and this course aims to correct the way we see everything ourselves, other people, our brother, the world, all of it. All of it. So it's very deep, and questions are more than welcome, for sure. So if you've got them, please feel welcome to leave them here. The comment thread on YouTube is, in fact, a perfect place to do just that. And this is the subscription prompt, by the way, in the corner of your screen here. Click that icon. You'll be invited to join us. Several videos appear each week. And, well, like we talked about, this course is not practiced by everyone. For many, many reasons. Yet here you are, which should tell you a lot. Tells me a lot. So you're invited to continue to stick around. Several videos appear each week, and they're designed for all experience levels. What we get here is a message or several messages from the Holy Spirit. And, well, what lands for you, you're meant to hear. Honestly, right? That's pretty much the way that works. And you're invited to continue to join us. These videos are designed to help along the way. They are not designed to be a substitute for the actual reading of the material. They're not designed at all to be a substitute for the actual forgiveness, for the actual practice of this material, which is where we learn the best. Our experience demonstrates the truth of these ideas to us, but we must do it. We learn this course by doing it. So these videos are intended as an aid, a supplement to that, to help clarify things, perhaps to help inspire you to practice, but we must put this into practice in order to really learn it. The course is a self-study curriculum, not a cult, not a religion. Yay. Because, I mean, the world has enough of those already, doesn't it? All right, so I thank you as always for joining me, and I will see you again very soon.